So I'm pretty sure I'm still Big Will. I know he's Hoot at, and it has been a while, people. I'm glad I can finally do something on YouTube. I don't know when I'll get on doing things more regular, as if I ever did things regular. But I apologize for looking like crap. But let's remember, I'm feeling better enough to do this, but I'm still far from 100%. You'll know I'm closer to 100% when I've had a shave and a haircut. So you'll just have to wait there. So, hey, man, how's it going? It has been a while since I've talked to anybody really on YouTube.
It's going well. A lot of stuff going on the comic side, the movie side. So, been going good for us personal, but, it's a good time to buy comics. So,
I'm gonna need you to sort of lead the topic choices here because I've missed so much. I know there's the new Thor, there's the price of the Gore book, there's QR codes, there's increasing pricing.
Miss Marvel,
Marvel, mutants. I mean,
oh god, it's all kind of stuff, but I mean. What's up, Rob Boswell? Hope you're doing well. It's so much stuff that's been going on last month. I would say month or maybe 2 months. The big topic was for a good little few days, maybe even a week, was the CGC giving free graders notes now, and the QR code. So. Every time somebody posted about it and was like, "Yay, look at hippie," and I was like, "Yeah, if they give you notes, So that was my thoughts on that. The QR thing, we already got that from CBCS, so they basically just stole an idea. So I don't know what everybody was so hyped up about and happy about. Maybe you can enlighten me. I don't have no idea why they were so happy.
Well, I got the email, and everything that said, "Hey, we're going to do this." And my first thought was, your competition's been only doing it for what, over 6 years now?
Yeah, since they started the company.
And even though you provide these QR coded free graders notes, that's only if you actually have graders notes for the book, which I've still not seen a satisfactory showing of, hey, we're doing better on graders notes. As far as
you can look at my video, my CGC unboxing to prove that point.
Really?
It's a golf clap. I mean, it deserves a golf clap because they weren't doing they're not doing anything new or inside. People got mad, and that's what they did, the free graders notes. Their competition's been doing that. The QR code, the competition's been doing that. I've said it long ago. If they did stuff that competition was doing, they probably wouldn't have competition. That was just my opinion. That was my opinion 6 years ago.
Yeah, the QR thing seems like a reaction to the blowback of taking stuff off the label.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, I was able to have a discussion with you on that on air. So,
yeah, that's what that looks like. That's what that is. But like you said, I've said it many times on people's comments. It's great if you have notes. I mean, I did a submission, and I had 2 7.5s and 2 8.5s with 0 notes. I can kind of see what's wrong with these books looking at the case, but you telling me you can't provide me notes of what's wrong? Maybe they have a couple things I can actually fix.
Yeah, so it's really great that their notes are finally free, but A, they should have been free to begin with, and B, if they don't even put notes, what's the point of having them be free? I mean, I just didn't get all everybody being hyped up because I still haven't seen, to my satisfaction, that they're doing notes on everything now.
And they're not like I mean, you get a CBCS book. I haven't experienced this. I haven't experienced one book under a 9.8. So 9.8s or above, I haven't had notes. But anything under a 9.8, I've had notes on.
Same here. I have
So,
never not had notes on a book unless it's been 9.8 or better.
Yeah, and this is using 2-day when they had 2-day moderns. I've done that and I've had notes. So it's not like, oh, you're doing too fast of a speed, so we can't give you notes. No, they've actually got my books, back then. Took them a week to get my book graded and it's mailed back to me, and I've had notes on those. So if the CGC can't tell me they can't provide at least basic notes. You don't have to be very detailed, but at least say, hey, you got color break on the back cover. All right, just say that. You don't have to be color break, back cover, right, top, middle, you don't have to be all that. Just give me a general idea. Especially when you see a book that's a 9.4 and has no issues.
Yeah.
So that was my gripe with that whole situation. That was one of the biggest breaking news people talked about, which I don't understand why they were giving big praises. They should have been giving golf claps like you did, because he didn't do anything new and it wasn't exciting.
So what's the next topic that I've missed here?
I don't think you were here we didn't talk about the increase in price of CBCS.
Oh yeah, their Express. Only the Express increased.
Oh yeah, only the Express increased. Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, it increased significantly.
$20.
Yeah, and I didn't feel too happy about that. I don't know how you feel. I didn't feel too happy about that big of a jump because you just increased.
Here's how I felt about it. I have 2 Silver Age books that I just sent off to my presser, who's going to then send to the grader, and they are CGC instead of CBCS.
Whoa.
CBCS, it would cost me $72 for each of those books. CGC with Fast Track, $50.
And they're actually, Fast Track is actually fast.
Well, it jumped from 20 to 26 for the economy tier business days, but my initial thought was, okay, CBCS guarantees a turnaround time of 14 business days. That's great, but 20 business days versus 14? So, I mean, it jumped to 26, but hey, that's still not that bad, especially when my other option is, a year.
Yeah, it's like either wait a year or 26 days. It's like,
yeah,
I'm going to take
so
the 26 days.
I'm okay with that. So yeah, I sent 2 books that'll be going to CGC because CBCS has to have at least 2 things over CGC to keep me going CBCS. And since they have that price increase now, the only thing that they have over CGC is their case is objectively better. Some people may not like the labels, but the case itself is objectively a better case.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's the only thing now that they have over CGC.
That's the only thing actually. And people who love CGC has actually said their cases for CBCS is better. But you said, I can't pay that extra amount, man. That takes away from.
Of course, that is only for the Express that it increased, but you can either pay that giant amount for the Express and have it done in 2 weeks, or your only other option is to pay the cheap price, but it's going to take a year, technically like 45 weeks or something like that. So they need an interim right there, like something that takes 50 business days or 40. Something like that.
Some in the middle and maybe half the extra cost.
Yeah. Because as of right now, they are making me go to their competition with how much they increase that, because I am not waiting a year. I don't care what you guys say about, I don't care, I send it. No, you don't want to wait a freaking year.
Only know one person who's okay with waiting a year. I don't know if you remember who this is. BLC. That's the only person I know who doesn't mind waiting a year. And I love BLC,
well, that's
but
because he sends in like every week.
Yeah. Yeah, he has a process on doing it, but now he says like he just did a video, and that's why I like getting insight on that side of the argument, because he talks about it on his video, and he said now he's gotten to a point that CGC is so far behind on the without fast track tier that a couple of his orders he doesn't even see anymore because it's been over 8 months. So he has to type it in manually. So I can't do that. Like that kind of bothers me. Either side, you know. Yeah, I paid an extra. Like I think it was $15 for CGC.
Well, plus unlike we love BLC, but unlike BLC, most of the books I'm sending are worth it to spend $50 or you know, to get it graded. You know, roughly. So. I mean, he's selling. No, not selling. He's sending a lot of PC books or doubles to sell them. So I mean, so he's not in a big rush. So I mean, but that's on his case, and not everybody wants to wait that long. That's just me. Like I don't send in books every week or every 2 weeks. Yeah. When I send in books, it's a good batch, and I don't want to wait 6 months to get them back. Right. I'm not sending in. Here's the thing: is I'm on my phone, CGC's website. Modern is 82 days, or with Fast Track 20 days. Economy is 235 days, which is almost a year. But Fast Track's 26 days. Now I don't know how they fast track, how it makes that big a difference. But as long as they ain't lying, that's what I did.
And I can tell you from my experience, but I did modern books. I did 2 groups of modern books, they were very fast on getting them processed to the grading tier. And the only hiccup I had slowdown is on the shipping side, which that could be another. And I think I mentioned that to you before. And they hold stuff for like a week or over before it ships.
But as long as that fast track is not off by more than 15 days, $50 rather than 72 with my discount because I'm a member at CBC, that's a big difference. That's enough to make me choose CGC. Now we go to standard, it's $80 for standard, 31 business days. That is where the express tier at CBC, that's where you see your difference. CBCS is better at that point, but I'm not at the point where my books are ones you want to send.
Express or walkthrough. The CBCS does have them on the express and / walkthrough tiers, I have to say, but yeah, like I'm not at that level. I'm not sending in X-Men 1 raw or something,
Yeah, but on the pricing right here for CBCS, it's a modern book is $24, or a brand new book, 2001 to present, is $20. But right now the time on that is 240 something days, which makes it be over 45 weeks, which is insane. Your other option is to go up almost $40 to $60 a book for Express, which is 2 weeks guaranteed. And then Vintage, pre-1975, it's $40 a book, and then double it if you want Express, $80, $72 if you have a membership. And that's just, I can't be swinging that on these books now. That's insane.
Yeah.
I can't do that. I love their taste. I love how strict their grading is. Well, I hate it, but I love it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I can't. It's not financially feasible to still use them just for those reasons when I can go and get not as good grading, but fine grading. They do a fine job at CGC. And it's so much cheaper, and it's relatively the same speed. So I'm CGC now until something happens over here at CBCS. Because
that increase. I don't know how it feels like
It
when
feels
Steve Borak left, some executive there said, "Hey, I know how we can make more money. Let's increase prices again." And probably didn't think about, hey, we're number 2 in the game.
yeah.
We don't want to shoot ourselves in the foot twice. We already shooting ourselves in the foot once because we have to increase prices. But
Well,
I don't want
I
to
think
shoot it.
they made a mistake where, guaranteed turnaround time, 2 weeks. Shoot, I'll pay the $40 to do that. And everyone started using that rather than the 45 weeks to do the other tier. And they were like, oh crap, we can't keep all this guaranteed. We better jack up the price. And well, congratulations. I'm not adding to that backlog now. I am going to CGC because you made me.
Yeah, I got my next, not modern, but my next economy tier order is going to CGC just because of the price and the speed. I think I'm doing like 10 books, but with the 10 books and with the extra with $15, I'm okay with.
Yeah, and
But,
I've got the $25 membership right now. It lasts till October. And now this is all assuming CBCS doesn't change their speeds, on the standard tier. If that happens, I'm going to CBCS again because they're better. They just are, as far as grading and their case. But until then, I'm going to have to go with CGC. And if it gets close to October and they're still slow at CBCS, I am going to increase to the $149. I think that's what premium membership.
It's like whatever the middle one, and you get that credit.
Everyone says so. It's free membership. I don't like to think of it as free membership. You're paying $150 for your membership, and you're getting $150 of credit on your next submission.
Yeah, it's
so
not.
You can send $150 worth for free, basically. But I never say it's a free membership because that just doesn't.
It's not, right. It was not because you are paying for it.
Yeah,
because you got to pay for it to get the $150 off.
Right. But I mean that's if you're sending CGC, that is the best system because you're getting the credit. If you don't go to CGC, well then it might work having an associate like I do right now. But here's Daymers. He's going to cheer. Daymers, I had to move back to CGC because CBCS jacked up their price too much.
Too much.
There you go. You can ring a bell or something. I'm back at CGC for now.
The heavens have opened up.
and thanks. I'm a little bit better.
He's better enough to do a video, so that's always a plus. What's up, John?
Yeah, I'm better enough to be here and talk a little bit, but I don't think I'm going to do any YouTubing after we get done here until hopefully Sunday night when we're playing D&D on JP Budget Collecting's channel. Hopefully I'll feel good enough still and be able to do that. But anyway, yeah, man, CBCS has just made me mad.
What's your thoughts on this is still kind of in the same topic because Steve, like I said, I kind of mentioned it. Steve Borak has left CBCS. So, what has your thoughts on that?
Well, he left CGC too. Nothing really bad happened. I don't think him leaving.
Well, nothing bad happened with CGC. They kind of quality control kind of fell off. That's about it. But CBCS kind of like jacked off prices.
Overall, CBCS I think is going to be fine without Steve Borak. I mean, the guy that took over has been under him even when he was at CGC, worked with him. So I don't think that is an issue. The issue is Beckett probably wanting to jack up the price, or what I said is that they can't guarantee that with as many submissions as they're getting for it, so they jacked up the price so not as many do it.
Yeah, and that's I call it, you know what I call it when people do that? I call it the Disney World effect or the Disney effect. Because if anybody knows about Disney, they jack up prices probably every 6 months, maybe. I know they do at least once a year. and they're doing that to make people not want to come to the park. And that's kind of feeling what this CBCS did is like, hey, let's jack up the price. People want the guarantee, which is a great idea, but we got too many to do. So let's jack up the price a little bit more to stop people from doing it. But in my mind, if they did that, they should be like, all right, but once we get caught up, let's drop it back. That's what I would say. But
hopefully that is what will happen. But most likely, it was probably some idiot at Beckett that said, "Hey, we can make more money doing this." But yeah, they're forcing everyone to go back to CGC, and CGC's case is not as good, and I don't like it. They shake. But the price and almost the same speed, you gotta go. I have no choice. So I sent my latest 2 books going to CGC.
they say that's
There's only so many spots. They want to get as much money as possible for those spots.
yeah, but that's not to me. It's not the right way to do it because you're gonna end up losing.
I think a better way would have been an interim thing that took 50 or 60 business days for X price that was cheaper than the express but more expensive than the regular. And if they had that, I would probably have done that for CBCS instead of having the choice be a year or really expensive 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, that's almost you almost can't do that for almost any book. I mean,
So
right.
So, what all in the realm of TV and movies have I missed since I?
Well, I haven't seen Thor, so we can skip talking about Thor. I've watched Miss Marvel, which I quite enjoyed. I quite enjoyed Miss Marvel because what I've done with Miss Marvel, and this is what I would hope other people would do. I looked at Miss Marvel as a show about a family, show about a teenager, and a culture. That's what everybody should kind of look at it as. But I know so many people in the comic community, and they won't admit it. They won't because it sounds racist. They won't admit it, or it sounds sexist. They won't admit it. But a lot of people don't like it because it's a woman, and then you got the other side they don't like it because it's a Muslim woman or a Muslim family. And it's like, but when you get past that point, you see, like I said, it's about a family, about a teenager who's going through things, learning to find herself to become a hero, and it's well written. You can't say anything bad.
Yeah, well, I haven't finished it. I want to. I know about some of the stuff that's happened, but what I don't understand is if you're okay with Clash of the Titans, and you can watch that and enjoy it, but you can't watch a show about a superhero teenager because there are some parts where she's goes to mosque. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, now I do understand the fact that people may not like it because it's about a teenage girl, and I don't know if you know this, but I'm not a teenage girl, and I never have been.
I'm not either.
So I don't tend to gravitate towards that. The only reason I'm watching it is Marvel Connection. Because it's all connected. That's the only reason I even started watching it. Had it not been for that, I wouldn't watch it at all because I'm not a teenage girl. It's not made, with me in mind as much as them in mind.
Yeah. It's not made in the core, made for male audiences. The core, but it is made for Marvel audiences. Like you said, it's connected. It has a character. It deals with a lot of issues dealing with Marvel. So, so yeah, it was one of my favorite shows. It's I would say top 2. It's top 2. It's probably like between WandaVision and Miss Marvel. That's how I feel about it after watching the whole thing.
Well, I need to finish it, but what about Mutations? Did you catch that?
Yeah, it's a little spoiler, people, if you haven't watched the whole thing. A little spoiler here, but yeah.
Well, I haven't watched it, and I'm spoiling it.
No, this is letting people know it's a little.
But, I
But,
mean, good Lord. You have a
Hey,
mutation, and then the music.
yeah, now that was added post. Like they filmed it, blah blah blah. I want to say I'm pretty sure the director didn't say, "Hey, we got to slide this in here." I would actually put money on it and say the director didn't say that. I believe that was added post, and I think it was added when Kevin Feige saw it and was like, "Okay, we'll keep it." Like, you know what I mean? But like you said, they said mutation. Inhumans are mutations.
Yeah, but I don't think they're going in humans because I agree with the Rob of Comics Explained, where no one likes the Inhumans. They've always kind of sucked, especially Black Bolt. He's never been anything in pretty much anything you read, except maybe a couple times. They kind of just in general suck, and everyone prefers the X-Men. So yeah, they're gonna do away with I think Inhumans and just make everybody some kind of mutation. And you're either a mutation alone or a mutation X person. You know, like I think that's what they'll wind up doing.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they're gonna do. I really have no clue because they were, and like during the show, they were hinting towards Inhumans the whole time. So I really don't know. I mean, honestly, I think they're still gonna. They're gonna consider her probably Inhuman, but still will do something with And I don't know. That's what I'm assuming. I think they're gonna have X-Men, and but yeah. All right, Daymares.
But I think what this means for us as collectors, buy your X-Men stuff now because they keep dropping hints. It is coming, and apparently, there's more X-Men books to get than there are FF books to get that will actually matter a lot.
Yeah.
So
and to let people know who didn't like teenagers, the X-Men were teenagers. so like, if you don't like this teenager, you might get some more teenagers.
Yeah.
And it could be the Cyclops and all these other people, but they will be teenagers.
Well, Cyclops, it doesn't matter if he's a teenager or an adult. No one likes Cyclops.
I think that's more to do with the actor, because I didn't mind Cyclops in the anime series. I didn't mind him.
I didn't like him
my favorite,
either.
But that was my favorite version of him.
Well, yeah, I agree. That's my favorite version of him too. But I've never liked him as a character.
I mean, but the Cyclops reminds me of like a Leonardo of the Ninja Turtles. When you're young, nobody liked Leonardo. Nobody did. You had people that liked me, Michelangelo, because he's the party guy, and like Raphael, because he was the big angry guy, and some people liked Donatello before Leonardo because he was the tech guy and smart. So
yeah, I don't know.
You don't appreciate Cyclops and Leonardo until you get older.
Well, I've never appreciated him. I'm older now. I still don't appreciate it.
You need another 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't. Yeah.
So, what else have I missed? Thor.
Thor. I don't know anything about Thor, and I don't want to talk about any spoilers because I don't know anything. I've actually kept pretty good of not finding out anything about it. I heard there's an end credit scene.
I've heard that a lot of people. First off, a lot of people are upset with the way Gore looks, and that's something you already seen because they released, the trailer even had that in there. I don't like it either, but I also don't really care as long as it's portrayed well. I understand they can't make everything look just like the book.
Yeah, and they didn't want to make it look like Harry Potter, they said.
Yeah, I've understood that in 1999 with the X-Men,
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard a lot of people are not liking it, and that it's got a 70-something on Rotten Tomatoes and like a high 70s, low 80s for the audience, which I never pay attention to reviews anyway.
I don't pay attention to reviews or even what other people say about it. Like when other people say they don't like it out of it.
Ragnarok, they changed with Taika Waititi and went comedic. A lot of people hated the fact that they went comedic. A lot of people thought it was one of the best movies in the MCU. Like John, Comics with Kids, John's Kids, me, top 5. It's probably going to be a top 5 movie, Ragnarok. And it is for me in the Marvel movies. But I, in general, like comedic and action movies more than any other kind of movie. So I will probably be leaning towards liking it versus not.
I'll probably lean towards liking it as well, just because I know the history of Marvel and what they've done in the past. And for a Thor movie, because it's a Thor standalone movie, it's going to be very hard to beat Thor 2 as the worst movie of Thor's. You know what I mean? Because I rewatched that and it's still bad. So because somebody else was like, "Hey, have you watched Thor 1?" And I was like, "Yeah, I watched Thor 1 and Thor 2." It's going to be very difficult to beat Thor 2 as the worst movie out of the Thors. And I'm like, so I don't know, but a lot of people have their speculation. A lot of people's speculation becomes their expectation for these movies lately. And they're speculating on a lot of things, and when it doesn't happen, they hate it. And that's not how it should be. You should go there with a blank slate, try to enjoy it. And then if you enjoy it, that's what its purpose is too.
I listened to Geek Culture Explained, which is the same guy that does Comics Explained, Rob. And I agree with him, is that Phase 4 is an info dump phase, basically. For the most part. It's just info dump so we can get ready for everything rolling afterwards, where we get the FF, we get the X-Men, we get, some more threats that are cosmic in scale. So I'm okay with it being, if like, it's like I said with another movie, I think it was Doctor Strange, the second one. If it does its job, it was a good movie. It may not be great. I haven't seen it yet. But if it does its job, it's a good movie. And what is its job? Well, to explain how, gods work in the MCU and explain, more about Thor and his interaction and stuff. And then that's why Gore's in there, the god butcher. And it's a god story about how they go about doing things, and cosmic as well, because gods. So that's its job, is to info dump that, but it's going to be funny because it's Thor 4 with Taika and Chris Hemsworth, and so I got to watch and make sure it does all that. And if it does, then I have to say it's a good movie.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to do what it's going to. I think it's going to do what its purpose is for me. And I think it's going to, give us another Thor movie. It's going to introduce some new characters. It's going to make me laugh. I'm going to have all that probably enjoyment of it. Will it be in-game level? No, not everything can be in-game level. So I think it's going to do what it's supposed to do. Is I'm not going to think it's Shakespeare, that it's supposed to be that. It's a Thor movie done with Chris Hemsworth and Taika Waititi. So as long as it's if it's entertaining, it's going to be good enough for me. And I'm already excited for it, just because,
Well, if I'm right in agreeing with Rob in that Phase 4 is mainly an info dump, then all it has to do is tell me what it needs to tell me in a fun, entertaining way, and I have to say it's a good movie. It may not be top 5, top 10, or with the amount of movies they have now, it could even not be top 20 and still not be at the bottom. So as long as it's good enough, entertaining, and does its job, does what it needs to do, then I will say it's a good movie. So I'm really looking forward to seeing it. But what about these people trying to sell their Gore first appearances, man? I noticed my buddy Micah. I mentioned to him when I saw him the other day. It would probably have been a smarter idea if Thor premiered on Friday to sell it the Tuesday of that same week. But he sold it after it came out, or tried to sell it. Starting bid, I think he had on it $150. No bites. People were paying $500 for that book.
A buddy of mine was trying to sell his, and I told him to sell it for. This is what I advised him, because I know how much he got it for. He literally got it for a quarter. So I told him, since you got it for a quarter, all right, put your grading costs, your shipping costs, multiply that by 20% on top, start the bidding in that. And it would have been like $60 or whatever. It would have been, start bid would have been really low. And I said, started at that if you're trying to sell it. You bought it for a quarter. Like, you're trying to get rid of it. The longer you keep it, you're gonna end up selling it for a quarter. So it's yeah. So, but he didn't listen to me, and I'm like, Gore is not gonna be that Thanos level character. He's not.
Yeah,
he's not gonna be around for 10 movies. 10 years.
But here's some advice for you guys that are wanting to buy a book. Then when the movie character comes out or something, you sell it and you want to make a profit. Is first off, you make your money when you buy it. You have to buy it at a decent price or before anyone's hopped up on it. And then at the point of announcements and rumors, you look at how much you paid, how much it's going for. If there's a big enough spread and you want to sell it then, sell it then. If you don't and you want to wait, you can wait. Wait for photos, leaks, and the trailer. Once the trailer comes out, look at what you paid for it. Look at what it's going for then. If it's a big enough spread, great. Then you have one more chance. Wait until the week of the movie is about to come out, and then look at the price it's at and sell it before the movie comes out. And hopefully you make a profit. If you don't at that time, well, there's no point. But that's your last chance, because once the movie comes out, you don't know, it may suck. They may have changed the character irrevocably in a bad way. They may have made him comedic when he's not supposed to be, and that threw people up. You don't know until the movie's seen. So you never want to sell it after the fact, unless it's well after the fact, and like Thanos, for example. The first time we saw him, and we knew he was going to be there a while, and we knew everyone liked him. Okay, well, then you can wait and plan it out then. But most cases, once the movie comes out, you're too late. You're either going to have a pretty flat price, or it's going to drop. And this one with Gore apparently has dropped.
Yeah, Thanos is an anomaly that you will see and that's a villain, not a hero, but Thanos is an anomaly you're going to see probably with two more villains. It's going to be Doctor Doom and Galactus. You probably see that with those if they do the stories correctly and they're not just one-offs. But I don't think you're going to see that again with anybody else. And Thanos, and surprisingly, people don't know, Thanos, if I ask 100 people, what was Thanos' highest peak? A lot of people probably would guess, maybe when he had that Avengers, when he said, "I'll do it myself" type thing, or people probably say, "Oh man, that was when he had the biggest peak," and it wasn't. Actually, the biggest peak was after Infinity War.
I was about to say Infinity War. It was after. After it already came out, he snapped, and that's when the spike went up even more for his first appearance. And I was just I couldn't believe it spiked up even more, because I was like, there's one movie left, and he's not going to win. I was like, they might not kill him, but he's not going to win, which they didn't kill him. They dusted him. He's not dead. He's just, away. So
Yeah, so it's it's kind of funny that that book spiked even more, on that
Yeah.
period. But that's a
Well,
different character. You're not gonna see that
plus
with Gore.
it has a lot of other key values too. First Drax the Destroyer,
Yep.
first Eros, first the father of Thanos, first Blood Brothers. There's multiple keys for that one book as well. That's another reason why it's still worth money today, even though maybe not as much.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, that too.
I don't even think you need the multiverse, and you just need the Infinity
It
Stones.
doesn't matter how you bring him back. There's multiple ways. It just has to be a good reason to bring him back.
Yeah, I mean, Death can bring him back, and that's how he can
Yeah.
fall in love with Death. So
Yeah, and they might can do it, proper Thanos, where his motivation is as it is in the comics.
yeah, so
But yeah, I think Kang the Conqueror might be another Thanos style character, depending on how they use him.
yeah, I don't know how they're using him because he
But
has 5 appearances.
guaranteed,
We don't.
Galactus and Doctor Doom, like you said, those are guaranteed, and Magneto. Those characters are guaranteed. As long as they do them right, they will last, even though they're villains.
Yeah, and Magneto's book is X-Men 1, so that always is going to go up regardless. But
Oh yeah,
yeah. So it's like, those three. I'd agree. Those three are you're going to see a bump before, after, and continuously. You'll see a rise in those books because of the blue chip value of those.
unless they just do a horrible job. In
Again.
which case, that means the MCU is at its end if they mess those guys up.
Yeah. And
But,
and like you said, the information dump. To touch on that really quickly, I think we only have 2 more. They're going to have 2 more shows, or one movie and 1 show left of information dump. Everything else is going to be characters.
She-Hulk and Black Panther 2 are coming in. That's it, right?
Yep, I think those are the last 2 for information dump. And the reason, and Black Panther 2 wouldn't have been information dump. It'd have been a little bit of information dump because of a new character for Submariner and Atuma, but we're getting more for information dump because we don't have to chop. So it's going to be a whole big thing of information dump in that movie. She-Hulk's going to be definitely because new character, but it looks like
it doesn't matter.
It's gonna be the Ally McBeal type show, so it's gonna be
As
funny.
long as She-Hulk is done and people like the way she's done, that's all that really needs. That's all that show really needs to do is just make sure that happens. If we get some info dump, great. If not, as long as she's good, we have her as a character, in our back pocket, so to speak.
Yeah. And so it's those are I think the last 2 shows for information dump because that stuff after that is characters we already have and characters we're going to be knowing. So
there's an extreme information dump that possibly will happen. What do you think will be unveiled possibly at San Diego Comic-Con for Marvel? What do you think they're going to do?
Drum roll, nothing. You know why? What comes out after San Diego?
D23.
Yep, there it is. Yep, D23. So I think the information or whatever we get at San Diego will be stuff that's already slated. Maybe some costumes, maybe some talks with the Marvels, all the girls with Marvels, stuff like that. But I don't think we're gonna get any information with projects and directors and stuff like that.
Not necessarily, Rick Ty. Agatha.
Yeah, that book's strong. That book is strong. That book's stronger than it should be.
It has done nothing or had slight dips in most of the books. Mm-hmm. There's a few that have done okay. Like, for example, the John Walker, the fake Captain America. His book went up, and then now that his story's, it's not technically over, but it's over as far as we know. Yeah, that one's gone down. But it could always come back up. Well, that's the good thing about that one.
Yeah. Now, the She-Hulk has gone down, which I've seen that, which is crazy. and which is I don't know. I don't know why She-Hulk has gone down that much. I've seen it. I literally could have bought a 9.8 for $600 or $700. Like, so it's gone down that much.
Yeah, that is true. It hadn't come out yet. I don't really need it to come out.
Yeah, the book is already overpriced in my opinion compared to other stuff that's coming out.
Even if the show's good, we don't need it.
Yeah, it's gonna be like a Black Widow movie. It's gonna be like a Black Widow movie you really don't need.
Like, great, but you're a bit late, and we kind of don't need it now.
Yeah, they did Black Widow movie to, I guess, talk about her sister. I'm guessing that's what the movie
its purpose was to really introduce the sister.
Yeah,
and which whoop-de-doo, just introducing her.
Which I did like her portrayal. She was awesome.
Yeah,
that was probably the best part.
She was awesome.
Yeah, she's probably my best part of the whole movie. That's why I actually watched the movie twice, just because of her. And I skipped through what I didn't like. I watched her parts, but
But we could have just had the Hawkeye Florence, and everything, and that would have been fine. We didn't need it early in the movie, but hey, we got it. So you think it's D23 that'll really unveil things, but they have to do something.
They're going to do something, but it's not going to be. I don't think it's going to be like
actual dates or stuff for like
D23. I think it's going to be dates like they did last time. I think D23 is you're going to get an official date probably of Fantastic Four. We probably get the new director as well, because rumors are going all over the place.
I think a great thing for San Diego would be an actual date for the Blade that we already know is coming out, and for the FF that we already know is going to be coming out. We just don't know,
who the director
about that. Yeah. A few of those things I think would be good enough, as long as they give us something real good.
I think the real good stuff is going to be D23. A lot of people are kind of hearing that rumor about Steven Spielberg for Fantastic Four, and this is my case for why.
I've never heard that.
Well, yeah, that's something new that's been screaming around, I think, this week. But this is my case of why I could see it happening. I could see Steven Spielberg directing Fantastic Four. Reason being is, if you look at Steven Spielberg's catalog, he's done every movie genre but one now. It used to be two. The two was a musical and a superhero movie. Now he's done a musical, which everybody raved and thought was great. It didn't make the money, but it won Oscars. It did that type of stuff. So now he's only one movie he's not done as a superhero movie, not an action movie. Because some people be like, "Well, he's done what? Didn't he do Indiana Jones?" People are like, "Oh, yeah, that's not a superhero. That's an action movie." E.T. is not. E.T.'s like a sci-fi, so it's like he's never done like a superhero movie. So I can see him doing the first family, because he can, in his mind, he'd be like, all right, it's the first family of Marvel. It's a family. Yes, they have superpowers. I think I can explain this in my way with my technology and my writing. I think that's what he's probably thinking about. And that's why I heard when that rumor came out.
He would probably be the closest director. Well, maybe Ron Howard or maybe Christopher Nolan. But he's probably one of the few directors that would be able to give us The Incredibles in live action with the FF, because that would be a perfect, FF movie right there. Basically, we've had an FF movie. They just changed a whole bunch of stuff and animated it and called it Incredibles.
Yeah. It gave the certain characters different powers, and kids be kids instead of being adults and friends or something. So I could see him doing it, but I don't see him doing more than one movie, because once he does it, I think he'd be like, all right, because he's all about history and his catalog and all that stuff.
Yeah, and so I hope that no one gets mad if they choose a different race than white, because as long as Ben is friends with Reed, as long as Reed is super, super smart And as long as Sue and Johnny are brother and sister, who cares what color?
Yeah,
I mean,
I really don't care what color either, because
yeah,
honestly,
Reed could be Indian, Ben could be black, and then Sue and Johnny could both be Asian. And as long as they get everything else right, I don't care.
yeah, that's one of those characters I like to call, like, one of these characters I like to call. The race does not matter to the story.
Yeah. Now,
You know?
I didn't like how they had Michael B. Jordan like adopted with the
Yeah.
Sue Storm white girl as the
Yeah.
I didn't like that. But I would have been fine if they had both been black or Asian or white.
They could have been both the same colors they are, and just said they really are brother and sister, because people need to realize, if you look in today's world, I can show you pictures of people who are brother and sister, or brother and brother, or sister and sister, who are one black and one white. They actually have twins who are twins. One's black, came out black, and one came out white. And they're twins. DNA's twins.
DNA's crazy, man.
Yeah, so they just
but
it is skin color different. That's it.
Everybody will have something to say for that, and it's going to be an
Yeah.
immediate question for everyone. Okay, are they actually going to be brother and sister? So I'd rather not have those extra questions. But I mean, it really doesn't matter what color the FF is, as long as they get their powers and personalities right. That's what
Yeah.
matters.
In the Ben Grimm part, he has to have the voice for it. Let's be honest.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He has to have the voice for it. You know, you can pick any person, but when he starts talking as a thing, and turns into the thing, because it's going to be motion cap, and once he
Yeah.
does that, if he has the voice, I don't care what race he is.
Yeah, I don't need it.
You know, when
Michael
he says
Chiklis
that,
was great.
yeah, when he says it's clobbering time, I want to feel it when he says it.
Oh yeah, it's clobbering time.
Yeah, I want to feel like I'm right there when he says. So that one, you know, that's all about voice.
Either needs to have. Have you seen Chicago PD, the show?
Yeah.
Okay, you know the lead
Oh,
actor there,
the
voice-
sergeant. Yeah.
He either needs a voice that's beat to hell like that, or one that's super deep.
Yeah.
Race doesn't matter, but his voice needs to be one of those.
Yeah. And you know who has a deep voice? A deep, good voice is the guy who was on John Wick. I don't know if you've seen John Wick. He's a tall.
I've seen one. I haven't seen two or three.
All right. Well, they got the tall black guy who's the concierge at the hotel. Hello, Mr. Wick. Like his voice.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm not remembering it in my head, but yeah.
He
Voice,
was one of the main characters. Well, not main. He was one of the staple characters in there. And when his voice is, and it's normal. That's his normal voice.
yeah. Well, hey, the voice, powers, and personality. That's what matters with Ben Grimm.
Mhm.
So that they should just do blind auditions where they literally blindfold themselves and just hear the guy.
He said he was the dumbest smart guy.
Yeah, I think if they give him a whole movie, that John Krasinski can work some magic there. You know, if he has more time with the character, and now that the internet has told him that was stupid, you know, I mean, I think he could do a better job with an actual movie. So I'm still down to have John Krasinski and you know, his wife as Sue Storm. So we need a Johnny Storm and a Ben Grimm. Yes, that kind of voice.
Like James Earl Jones type voice.
Yeah, or Michael Clark Duncan.
Oh man, I wish he was still living.
Yeah, he would be the perfect actor.
He would have perfect. Oh my god, Reed, we gotta go there, Reed.
Yeah, that's good. I'm the pilot now.
Oh my god. So yeah, like if we get Michael Krasinski to be Richards, I got two directors I want to see. I want to see, since the rumors been out, Steven Spielberg would be for Fantastic Four. Or I would like to see John Krasinski. I mean, he's done very well on the like 2 or 3 movies he's directed. Very well. And it's made very good money.
Yeah, well,
So
do you think
that's
he needs a small budget, or would he be able to use the millions upon millions that he can get with Marvel to do the good movie?
well, this is what I call
Some
him.
directors are like that.
Yeah, well, this is what I call a Marvel small budget. I think he can do that movie for $100 million. I think he can do it. Like, hear what I'm saying? I think he can do that movie for $100 million because I think he would get salaries for. First off, the salaries I don't think would be very expensive for the actors on the first movie.
I would think he needs at least 150 million.
Well, 100 million, 150 million in that range. I don't because I looked at the budgets of Thor. First 2 Thor movies were 150.
Oh,
Yep.
well, they
First
were
two-
over 10 years ago, though, too.
Yeah. The second one was the third Ragnarok was actually like 186, I think. And the new one, 250 million. So, yeah, so it's like I don't think he needs 250, but I think he can do it, like you said, at 150. That's why I said 100. He probably would want 100, and they probably give him 150.
Yeah.
And I think that's more than enough, especially for the first movie. And I think he can.
The most expensive part will be their Ben Grimm transforming and the outer space and the space storm cosmic rays, the CGI and all of that. Those will be the most expensive parts. Otherwise, it's just science and guys and science stuff. I mean, that's basically it.
50% of the movie could be not any superpowers, so it could be like that's why I think
the rumor that Chris Evans wants to be Johnny Storm again.
Yeah, I heard he talked about it, but I think he was just messing with people. You know what I mean?
I hope he does it.
I think he was just messing with people, and I think how he said it, you could tell he was messing with people. But I think he put in the mindset of people who are doing these movies, these big event movies, that he probably put in their mind that, hey, if we do Secret Wars, we could have him in as Johnny Storm for Secret Wars. And I wouldn't be mad at it. I'm not gonna say I wouldn't be mad at it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad. People dog that first FF movie, but when you think about it, the only thing they got wrong was Doctor Doom. I mean, don't get me wrong, that's a big thing to get wrong, but they did an excellent job, and it was an excellent movie, except for Doctor Doom.
And everybody says they love Michael Chiklis' thing.
Oh yeah,
even though his makeup looked crappy, he did look crappy in the makeup. Let's be honest. But him playing the character in the beginning, and then the voice of him being the thing, if you can get past that makeup and costume and stuff,
and the emotion that he had in it, like that just not being able to pick up the wedding band or engagement ring or whatever from his girl. Yeah, that movie, if you took out Doctor Doom and put in, a good Doctor Doom.
I don't even use Doctor Doom. Just make the movie as is.
No, I'm saying that movie.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, like, of course.
I mean, who I think they should? What I think they should do for the FF, because of how important the FF are to Marvel history and how important the FF are in Marvel Comics. I think what they need to do is get a good cast. Like I said, I don't care about their colors or anything. Just get powers and personalities right. But they need to go. They need to get their powers. And then they need to fight a mole man monster. And then set up that the next film is going to be going down and fighting Mole Man.
Yeah, I was thinking that they need to, because I was like, what did Fantastic Four fight a lot of? And it was monsters.
Yeah.
And they're going towards that monster world anyway with Blade and the Black Knight. They're going down that rabbit hole, and it's there for the taking. It's there for the taking for.
Yeah, you
know.
just need to have the human character Doctor Doom. Just see him in Reed's college days or something, and then see the name plastered on a sign like Von Doom Industries or whatever, or do a shot of Latvia. So it'll be like his college days. I'm going back home to Latvia, or something like that, and then forget about him until like the third or fourth movie, and we have like Mole Man be like, I'm the Mole Man at the end of the first one, and then boom, you set up your second movie. They fight Mole Man.
Yeah, at the very beginning, they fight Mole Man and take care of him, and
yeah, and then that also needs to set up another villain. Where I don't know who would be a good villain. You know who would be a good villain? Absorbing Man. I think that would be.
I was actually thinking of Super Skrull.
Well, it depends. Okay, we're talking third movie, so they'll probably be in Secret Wars. So yeah, the Super Skrull that would work. And then because of the Super Skrull, the fourth movie, everything's gone to hell in a handbasket. But then there's this country in Europe called Latvia. And and then we get Doctor Doom, a good, real Doctor Doom at that point.
Mm-hmm. And then you could hint at him in every movie, like they did Thanos. Like he's behind something or he's doing something. You know what I mean? Like he's meddling and all kind of stuff.
They've hit every country but two. What are the two? Switzerland and this one called Latvia. Latveria.
And by them doing that, I would love to them tie in stuff that kind of left like little plot holes in other TV shows and movies, because when Moon Knight woke up in that town, they never said what the town was.
Yeah.
I mean, it could just be like, oh, that was a town inside of Latvia. like it could, and he could have been behind the whole Moon Knight. Like he's that type of person to be behind a lot of things. Has his hands meddling in a lot of things, and I would love to find out that he's like, oh yeah, I was trying to do this, but it's damn.
Yeah, the biggest what WTF moment for me was, how come in the Eternals movie you saw the shadow of the freaking Arishem sitting there looking at the Earth with his eyes, and then you had the other one's hand come out looking like an entire island coming out of the Earth's crust. And no other heroes even, it didn't even show a cameo of any other hero just being like, what's going on? Or like, what is that? In the sky. They did nothing.
Yeah, the only way they can explain that is they're going to have to say, like, that movie actually happened after all of the stuff we've seen recently.
I don't know, man.
That's the only, I'm just being honest. That's the only way they can explain it. And the movie that's really chronological right after Eternals would be Blade. I mean, that's how I would be like, oh, okay, all right. That's why we never got an explanation why the freaking thing, in Blade, then he probably start off with Blade, and then Black Knight shows up, or he go gets Black Knight, and he's like, got some explaining to do with this damn face and hand coming out of the Earth or something, That would make sense there, but like you said, they haven't referenced it, and I think it's for a reason, because I think all this other stuff happened before that part in the movie.
I don't know, man. I wish they would do everything in order.
Yeah, I got a feeling that Eternals is not in order.
Specifically mentioned this is happening during this time. Like it will not take us out of the movie to at the beginning, instead of it going, Colorado or something, be like in between this movie and this movie.
Or at least at the beginning, because Kevin Feige says it. Some directors or people have said, hey, this project happened so many weeks or a year or whatever after the snap or the snapback or whatever you want to call it. They've said that, but it'd be easier if you do it at the beginning of all the movies or TV shows. You'd be like, this is 1 year after people snap back into society. This is because it happened with Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Like that was like, so I don't know if it was a year or what it was, or 2 years after everybody came back. But because they kind of explained it in the show, but you had to pay attention. But it'd be easy just to say, put that subtitle, say, all right, this is the story.
That would not take us out of the movie at all. Now, having the movie stop and then the guy look straight into camera and go, the timeline is that, that takes you out of the movie. But just a little, right at the beginning or something. Yeah, I think that's really needed, especially now we're over 20 movies in.
Yeah, and then after the snap, before after the re-snap or after the first snap, we need explanation.
We need something, man, because it's getting a little ridiculous because they're not going in order.
Yeah, they're not, and you can tell they're not going in order. You can tell just by Eternals, you can tell they're not going in order.
Yeah, I mean the only movies that is easy to see which one's what is the first Avenger, Captain America, and Captain Marvel. Those are the only ones you can easily tell. Okay, Captain America's first, then Captain Marvel.
Yeah, because of the year, it's done.
Yeah,
it's the only. That's about the only one. I mean, well, and Black Widow, because Black Widow happens like right before the first Infinity War.
Yeah, but it's not as clear cut and obvious.
It's not clear cut, but when you get to the end, you're like, oh. When she gets dusted,
a Blockbuster by a Radio Shack. That's pretty cut and dry where you're at. And World War II, it's fixed in time. America, there's 4 years there. We pick a year.
So yeah, it should be a little bit more clear cut. And then they don't talk about it as much. They don't talk about the snap. Like, to me, that should be always talked about.
Yeah, and they should have. You know how Marvel, the comic book Marvel, has like meetings where like all the X guys get together, and they should do that at Marvel now with all their TV show stuff. Have like all the directors or somebody get together with Feige, and he's like, okay, here's the main plan. Yours takes place here. Yours takes place here. So you can reference this. You can't reference that. They need to start doing that.
Yeah, because I mean, to me, that would help out for telling us what timeline it is, but they don't do that either. So it's like, if you tell us, people came back, or we don't even, because you don't even know what timeline they are. Like in this Marvel, when you really think about it now, it's like, where are they as far as timelines? Is how many years after the snap return? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously it's not right after the snap return because the trash is not all over the place. Like it wasn't when Ant-Man returned. Like he returned in Endgame, and he was like, he's walking the streets and you see piles of trash because they don't have people to pick up the trash. So they need to be more clear cut in that. Shang-Chi wasn't either when you really think about it. Nothing actually wasn't. Nothing. The only thing that kind of was Black Widow, but that was because it was kind of like a prequel type movie. And you figured that out once the ending happened when the sister got dusted. So you knew this movie happened before the official Infinity War. And it came in the ending also came when she came back. It was the end game. so like that happened before Infinity War, but when she came back, that was 5 years later. So you kind of know that movie, but besides that, you really don't know any of his other movies. Yeah. You don't even, you don't know when happened when Eternals really happens. You don't know,
Yeah, I know that, and that one's annoying. And everyone has forgotten Blade, I think, except a few people that are just.
And they're filming Blade currently. They're in New Orleans filming, so they're filming Blade. Blade is officially really coming.
Yeah.
They're filming that. I'm trying to think what else they're filming. Ironheart is getting filmed. I think Armor Wars is next.
Well, I normally don't end things so abruptly, but I need to end this. we were going on almost an hour and 10 minutes. So thank everybody for coming. Hudat, thank you. I enjoyed the conversation. I'll be slow to come back, but hey, I'm starting. I'm here. So hopefully it will happen soon. But anyway, we will see you guys later. Thanks again.
Peace out, everybody.
See you.